ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Unstoppable Dynamics channel of wrestling results here on this channel. AEW Battle of the Belts 2022 results contain spoilers. Tonight's first ever Saturday night fight night Battle of the Belts aired live on TNT from the Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's Saturday night, and you know what that means. Excalibur, Jim Ross, and Tony Schiavone were the broadcast team for tonight's show. Interim TNT Championship title match. The natural Dustin Rhodes with the enforcer Arn Anderson versus Spanish God Sammy Guevara to crown an interim TNT champion. During yesterday's Rampage episode, Excalibur announced that TNT champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, had not been medically cleared to compete for tonight's title defense against Spanish God Sammy Guevara. Unclear of why, but we all know why. Because he's scared to face Cody. Or scared to face Sammy Guevara. He knows that he's going to lose. So, stepping into his placement was his brother, the natural Dustin Rhodes, to face Sammy Guevara to crown an interim TNT champion. This is a rubber match with very high stakes here tonight, said Excalibur. Dignitaries Humpy Wheeler and David Crockett were sitting ringside. Dustin and Sammy showed mutual respect by shaking hands at the start of the match. Sammy grabbed a headlock on Dustin, but Dustin shoved him off. Dustin slowed the pace, apparently needing a minute to collect himself. I think Dustin knows he can't compete with Sammy's speed, said Excalibur. Sammy hit a drop kick on Dustin. Outside the ring, Sammy Guevara rammed Dustin into the guardrail. Dustin fired back with a knife-edge chops. Dustin rammed Sammy's knee into the steel ring steps. Dustin nailed Sammy with a pile driver on the arena floor. Dustin going for it broke with that, said Tony Schiavone. Sammy pointed to his knee and barely jumped back into the ring in time to break Aubrey Edwards' 10 count. It seemed that Dustin's strategy of slowing down the pace was paying off. Dustin power slammed Sammy for a near fall. Daniel Garcia was watching the match from ringside. Sammy Guevara countered a monkey flip from Dustin. Sammy flew through the air with a double springboard onto Dustin. Outside the ring, a wobbly Sammy attempted a double springboard cutter, but Dustin caught him with a crossroads for a near fall. Dustin followed up with the code red for another near fall. Gives Sammy credit, as Sammy has kicked out of two well-executed moves from Dustin, said Tony Schiavone. Dustin climbed to the top rope, but Sammy ran up, grabbed Dustin, and choked him with the GTH for a near fall. Fuego del Sol was underneath the ring. Fuego popped out and set up a table. Arn Anderson confronted Fuego, and Fuego retreated. Sammy connected with a pump kick and Dustin's jaw. Dustin rallied back with a Canadian destroyer off the apron, sending Sammy crashing through the table. This is awesome chants filled the packed arena. Dustin planted Sammy with two consecutive crossroads. Dustin was looking for a Tiger Driver 98, but Sammy defended himself with a thrust kick. After several roll-up reversals, Sammy rolled up Dustin for the pin. Pro wrestling luminary David Crockett presented Sammy Guevara with the interim TNT title. Sammy Guevara can once again call himself a champion, but we know the unofficial match with Dustin Rhodes is around the corner, said Excalibur. Daniel Garcia jumped into the ring and slapped Sammy. They began brawling and had to be separated. Tony Schiavone interviewed Sammy Guevara backstage. Sammy challenged Daniel Garcia for the next week's Dynamite, putting the interim TNT title on the line. FTW World Title Championship match. FTR World Champion Absolute Ricky Starks with Powerhouse Hobbs versus Matt Sydal. Taz joined the commentary team for this match. Sydal got right in the face of Ricky Starks, taking the fight to him, not wanting to waste the opportunity. Sydal swept the leg and hitting a standing moonsault on Starks. Sydal rolled up Starks for a near fall. Hobbs was sitting ringside holding onto the FTW title. Matt Sydal chopped at Ricky's leg, then hit him with a question mark kick. He capped it off with a sliding knee strike to Ricky. Sydal spiked Ricky with a Michinoku driver for a near fall. Starks hoisted up Sydal, but Starks' leg gave out. Sydal rallied back with a lightning spiral for a very near fall on Starks. Sydal smashed into Starks with a meteora. Starks placed his boot on the ropes, breaking the ref's count. Starks speared Sydal. He finished off with Sydal with a Rochambeau and scored the pin. Powerhouse Hobbs and Starks continued the beatdown, and Sydal, after the match, Lee Moriarty sprinted down to even up the odds, but Hobbs power-bombed Lee. Finally, Dante Martin ran down and forced Hobbs and Starks to back down. Your main event time, AEW Women's World Title Championship match. AEW Women's World Champion Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with Rebel and Jamie Hayter versus Rio. Before the match, Jamie Hayter threw the championship down onto the ring canvas. Jim Ross noted it was very disrespectful on Hayter's part. Rio hit 2 consecutive drop kicks on Baker. She followed up with a diving cross-body press onto Rebel. On the outside, Baker fired back with the sling blade on the floor. Hayter and Baker pulled a table out from underneath the ring. Rio evened up the odds with a dragon suplex on Baker. Then Rio ran up the table and drop kicked Hayter, and who had been folding the other end of it. Back in the ring, Baker was waiting for Rio and began stomping a mud hole into her. Baker suplexed Rio for a near fall. Rio rallied back with a double foot stomp on Britt Baker. Rio has a great second gear and is extremely resilient, noted Jim Ross. Rio blasted Baker with a big knee strike in the corner. Rio locked Baker into a leg submission, but Baker grabbed the bottom rope to force the ref to break the hold. Rio climbed to the top turnbuckle, but Rebel grabbed Baker and shielded her. Rio jumped off the top with a double foot stomp onto Rebel. Rio tried for the double foot stomp on Baker, but Baker moved and countered with a air raid crash. Rio avoided the curb stomp from Baker. Baker reversed a dragon suplex from Rio and tried to put the lockjaw on, but Rio had it scouted. Rio escaped from when she grabbed the bottom rope. Britt went right back with a curb stomp for a near fall on Rio for a near fall. Rio will not be denied, said Excalibur. Jimmy Hayter tossed Britt's world title in the ring. When ref Paul Turner turned around, he saw Rebel with the belt, and he ejected Rebel. Baker was puzzled by the interference from Hayter and turned to ask her what she was doing. Rio kicked Baker into Hayter, knocking Hayter off the ring apron. Rio hit the crucifix bomb and then a Northern Lights suplex on Baker for a near fall. Rio charged at Baker, but Baker kicked up at Rio. Baker curb stomped Rio and then applied the lockjaw, forcing Rio to tap out. What a tainted win for Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She finally defeated Rio, but it was not without assistance, said Excalibur. Catch AEW Dynamite live on TBS next Wednesday from the PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Don't miss AEW Rampage next Friday on TNT. And remember, the home of professional wrestling is All Elite Wrestling. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you guys do not miss an upload here on the channel. I'm Unstoppable, and I'm out.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Skiz here. And if you don't subscribe to Blonde and the Unstoppable Denominator, then you are a toothy bumfuck, pussy ass bitch motherfucker.